Hola, minasan! Welcome back for another round of One Piece. Last time, Wappo got beaten, got sent out, blasting off like Team Rocket, and everybody was in the healing, was healing. Kureha chased off Chopper, much like how Hero Luke chased off Chopper. But she wanted him to. She hates saying goodbyes and wanted Chopper to join and go out and be his own thing. So now he's serving on the crew as the ship's doctor, and didn't hesitate to fit in and make Anami angry enough to punch him on the head along with all the others. Just like that. And then we find out that Gold Roger, according to Kureha, is not really Gold Roger, Gold Roger, but in fact is Gold D Roger. Gold, Gol, with D in the middle, with Roger at the end. And thus is part of the alleged family of D. Like in the Monkey D. Luffy and that's going to be a very, very, very interesting thing as the time goes on. I would love to see if that's Monkey D. Luffy's ancestor. That would be crazy. That would be epic. Oh man, and it would so much make a sense of fate that that's going to happen. And then finally, at Alabaster, Mr. Zero's prepping up for Luffy. He's one of the seven pirate lords, the big pirates, the big time dudes that the Navy sanctioned to keep the peace, to help keep the peace. And basically, the whole entire country of Alabaster seems to be terrified of him, despite their praise of his heroism, quote unquote. So now the team, Luffy and the crew, are about to arrive to Alabaster, on their way to Alabaster, and we're about to have ourselves a very, very long arc. Ooh, it's gonna be a very long arc. Can't wait to see that. So, let's not waste any time. Let's get reading. One Piece by Eiichiro Oda, chapter 156. Oh, come my way days. The Grand Line is being very, very cooperative for Luffy and the crew as the merry-go floats through nice calm seas with a nice clear sky, far away from the snowy weather of their previous island adventure. With the fifth day out from Drum Island, the merry-go slowly makes its way towards Alabasta. "You ate all the bait, Luffy," Usopp said. "How are we supposed to catch fish now?" "You ate some too, dude." "I only ate what was stuck to the lid of the bait box." The princess arrived and asked, "Luffy, Usopp, have you caught anything?" And that's when she saw the two of them having Kato wrapped up in fishing line, as they're both ready to dip him into the ocean. "Go!" Quack. "Maybe we'll catch a shark, dude." "I hope we catch a sea monster." "What are you doing to Karo?" And she punched the two of them to the sound of yip. And as Karo screamed out, "Quack," Luffy and Usopp lay on the ground with bumps on their heads. Suddenly, and as she was ready to continue to beat them up, something caught her attention. She looked out into the ocean. "What's that?" The sound of doom screamed out, and she noticed ahead. Let's see. Ahead of the bow, plumes of smoke rising up into the horizon. "Smoke?" Luffy and Usopp looked out there. "What is that?" "Maybe it's cotton candy, dude." Luffy stuck his tongue out in disgust. And Vivi opened the door to the galley and and called out, "Nami, come quick! There's something up ahead." uh, they caught and as Nami replied, Sanji listened on. Ah, that? Don't worry. It's just steam. Steam in the middle of the ocean? It's a hot spot. What's that? The princess asked as the steam laughed. A place where magma comes out of the ocean floor. There's an undersea volcano here. A volcano, the Chopper said. Under the water. Actually, there are more volcanoes under the water than above. Oh. Usopp was amazed. Who cares, dude? You can't eat it. And in a few thousand or tens of thousands of years right there, a new island will be born. She explained as the merry-go started passing by the steam. Sanji leans in with hearts in his eyes and his hands clasped together. Nami, you're terrific! What an amazing phenomenon! Vivi says as she watched the steam rise up from the ground. Ah, yeah. Dude, I wonder if I'll still be alive in tens of thousands of years. I don't think people live that long, Usopp said as they were ready to dip Kado into the ocean to fish for food. Quack. Meanwhile, within what is that? Within the steam, people were coughing and gagging away, screaming out, "Smells like sulfur! I can't see anything! Don't worry, I'll clear up soon." And one of the crew says, "Mr. True Bond Clay." Yes, there's smoke ahead. Pay it no mind, Mr. Tues screamed out as he pointed out to the bow, out towards the bow, and at the steam. Sail right through it. Aye aye, full steam ahead. And the boat and the ship picked up speed and forced its way into the fog. The crew started screaming, "Oh, I can't see anything!" Oh! And emerged down the other side. We're clear. But the crew looked to their side and realized Mr. Two is not there. Mr. Two Bond Clay is gone. Check his cabin, he's not there. Impossible, Mr. Two Bond Clay. The crew screamed out as the ship continued sailing far away from the steam. Meanwhile, Usopp and Luffy's mouths opened up extremely wide as their sweat poured down their faces, and flies entered into their large gaping mouths. Karo caught someone as they dangled in the air high above the waters. Galwhack. It was Kado holding on to Mr. Two as he stared out at Luffy and Usopp. Dude, that's a weird fish. And Mr. Two immediately released his hands and screamed, "Oh dear! How did I manage to get cut by a dog?" Oh. And he realized what he had done and fell into the water down below. Moments later, he was brought on board, soaked and wet from the ocean water. He raised his hand up, showing peace. "Oh my, Swan, thanks," he said. "My life has been saved by pirates I've never met before. I am in your debt," he said to the entire crew as they watched on. "Do you think I could have a warm bowl of soup?" To which they all screamed out, "No way!" and Zolo's and Solo added, "We're the ones starving here." Vivi at the top of the deck, looked down below from the banister. Oh, Mr. Two winked and smiled at her. "You're so cute. Just my type. I could just eat you up. I am quite the cannibal." The BB said with a disgusted face, and thought to herself, "What a weirdo." "Dude, so you can't swim?" "Of course not. I've eaten the devil fruit." "You have?" Usopp asked. "What kind?" "Anyway," Mr. Two ignored the question. "My ship will certainly come for me, but until then, perhaps I can entertain you a bit." He stood up and raised his hands up. "Behold my power!" And he thrusted the palm of his hand into Luffy's face, knocking his straw hat off. "Ugh, dude!" And the crew screamed out, "Luffy!" as they watched their captain fall over onto his back and tumbled away from Mr. Two. Solo immediately grabbed his hand on the hilt and said, "What the?" as everyone watched in horror. Wait, please. It's all part of my act," Mr. Two said with his hands held up. "You'll see." And Solo unsheathed his sword. "What?" And Luffy sprung. Oh. Suddenly, Luffy's face appeared on Mr. Two's body. "Ta-da! This ain't no joke, dude, huh?" Luffy put his hat back on his head. "He's me." "Oh!" Usopp screamed out. "They're identical!" "Surprise, dude! Ha 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 ha!" And then Mr. Two swung his hand in front of his face and returned to normal. "And with one swipe of my left hand, voila! Back to normal. That is the power of the clone fruit." "Oh, even his Nami says, even his voice." And Usopp finished her sentence. "And physique were like Luffy's." "That's amazing, dude!" Luffy screamed out as Mr. Two pat each and every one of them in the face. "Well, actually, I didn't have to punch you," he said. And he started presenting each of their faces. "With my right hand," he said in Usopp's voice. "I just touch your face," he said in Zolo's voice. "And just like that, I can look like anyone. And that includes my body." To which he, oh no! To which he pulls his shirt and he pulls the collar of his shirt down in front of all the men to the sound of snap, and they were and all of the eyes bulged out in surprise. Nami immediately punched Mr. Two in the back of the head and left a large lump. "Stop that!" "Oh," he said. Mr. Two stood up. "I'm sorry, but I can't show you any more of my powers." And Luffy threw his fist up in the air as everybody sat back up from recovered from Nami's punch. "You're awesome, dude." "Yeah, do some more," Chopper said. He's easily persuaded." Nami was in disbelief as Mr. Two started pirouetting around. "Now then," and Luffy and he screamed out, "Memory function activate!" Luffy's Chopper and Usopp threw their fists in the air with smiles on their faces, screaming, "Yeah!" "Once I've touched a face, it's mine forever. I never forget." And he continued changing to various types of faces. to all sorts of faces, from long oblong with a curly hair top to a weird football shaped face with nose hairs for a mustache, to a long haired guy with a long beard, and a weird smiley face with a wink. Phoebe took notice of this. What? And Solo, leaning back on his head on the floor. Idiots. He was complete and totally disgusted. But everybody laughed on as Mr. Two continued on doing his facial tricks. How did you like my trick? I never show anyone that to anyone, you know. It's cool, dude. Luffy screamed out as he Chopper and Usopp continued clapping on. They all got up on their feet and started dancing with Mr. Two. This ain't no joke. This ain't no joke. As they continue laughing, and Nami just looked away from them in disgust. Ah, idiots. Hey, there's a ship coming this way. Is that yours? She pointed out as the boat started, as the boat got closer, and the crew screamed out, "There he is!" Oh, is it time to part already? Too bad. He jumped right on up on top of the deck banister as Luffy, Chopper, and Luffy screamed out, and Usopp screamed out, "Huh?" But don't be sad. Every voyage must come to an end. Just remember one thing. And he looked back with a smile on his face, shedding a little tear in his eye, and a thumbs up with a sparkle on it. Friendship is not determined by how much time you spend together. And they cheered on in tears, with Louis screaming, "I hope we meet again, dude." And Mr. Two leapt up and landed onto his boat. "Let's go, man." "Aye, aye, Mr. Two Bon Clay." And the ship sailed off ahead of them at full speed, leaving the merry-go behind. And that's when it hit them. "Mr. Two!" Usopp screamed out as everybody froze in place. That was Mr. Two Bon Clay?" Phoebe screamed out. "Phoebe, dude, didn't you know what he looked like?" "No, I never counted Mr. One or Mr. Two before." She bowed down before them in shame. "I didn't even know what their powers were." "I'd only heard rumors about Mr. Two." Everyone listened on as she covered her mouth and slowly started to shed tears. "They say he wears makeup and talks like a girl and wears a swan coat that says, 'Oh, come my way' on the back." And oh no. He was wearing all of that. Solo, Usopp, and Luffy started hand gesturing off at her. "Are you blind?" Usopp said. "Yes, she is totally blind." Racked in fear and terror, Vivi clutched her forehead and wiped the sweat off her brow. "When he was doing those faces from memory, one of them was my father's. He mimicked my father's face. What does that mean?" If he were to pass himself off as the king," Solo said, "he could do a lot of damage." "We let a bad guy get away." "He was our enemy," Chopper asked as he tried to play catch up with the crew and their exploits. Nami replied. Nami spoke. "That guy could make a lot of trouble for us if he decides that we're his enemies. If he disguised himself as one of us, we wouldn't be able to trust each other." And Vivi let out a gulp at the revelation. "You think, dude?" Luffy said, catching everyone's attention, saying, "Huh?" Meanwhile, back on back on the Conasway. I guess that's Conasway. That's the name of the boat. Well, back at the boat. Back at number two's boat. Mr. Two Bon Clay was with his arms crossed, laughed out loud as one of his crewmates looked at him in disdain. Mr. Two Bon Clay, you seem to be in high spirits. I made some new friends today. It was great. So entertaining. Meanwhile, back on the merry-go, Nami got Luffy's attention. Oh, listen, Luffy. Hold on. Zolo interrupted as he planted his hand on Luffy's chest. Luffy's opinion may be groundless, but I don't think we have to worry about Mr. Bon Clay. He lifted his head up and smiled. This was a lucky encounter for us. Now we could plan our strategy. And he smirked. To be continued. One Piece by Eiichiro Oda. One Piece by Eiichiro Oda. Chapter 157, Ace Arrives. A giant cat sea monster rose up from beneath the waves with a big staring down at the crew and a giant earring on its wearing a giant earring. Wow, it's got a giant earring. The crew screamed out, gasp! As sea monster, territory of the coast of Sandy Island. What is it? Usopp screamed out. And Vivi says, it's a sea cat. Whoa! A sea monster. Chopper screamed out. Zolo and Luffy were armed and ready. Our first meal in 4 days. Food. They were ready to strike down the cat. When Nami, looking at the log, was very calm and casually said, the course is set. We should be there pretty soon. And Luffy screamed out even louder, food! And suddenly the sea cat slowly drifted backwards, causing everyone to stay in place. He retreated. Go back! Sanji screamed out, put the ship in reverse! I don't know how to. Don't let it get away! We have to catch it! And suddenly, they got swatted upside the head with a ladle by Princess Vivi, and they all slammed their heads into the banister. Stop that! And Luffy replied, I'll come, dude. Jeez, Vivi, what are you doing? Solo said. You can't eat it! She screamed out. In Alabaster, the sea cat is a sacred animal, she said as she watched the sea, where she looked out at the sea. As Luffy slumped over the banister and Zolo lay flat on the ground, and and poor Sanji leaning on the banister with his mouth wide open. And Chopper spoke. The oceans are full of strange creatures. Meanwhile, Usopp, my gosh, what is with this crew? Usopp is on the ground with his butt sticking up and presenting himself in the air as his legs shook. If you think that was strange, you ain't seen nothing yet. He stood right back up and planted his foot on the banister with a big smile on his face. Did I ever tell you about the time I fought a sea monster in the calm belt? Yeah, a huge one. To which Chopper replied, you did? Meanwhile, Luffy started gnawing on the banister. Our lunch got away, dude. His tears fell down his face. Oh, cheer up. Phoebe said.
You'll have plenty of time to eat soon.
Really, dude? What kind of cat's gonna appear next? Nami started approaching everyone climbing up the stairs and got their attention.
Phoebe, the weather seems to be stabilizing. Well, we've entered a Alabastan climate zone. The appearance of the sea cat proves it.
Solo smiled. So, do those things behind us, right?
Huh?
Phoebe looked down the back, and there was an armada approaching them from the horizon to the sound of da-doo.
Ships? Where did they all come from? Hey, they're all Baroque work ships. The agents are gathering. Those must be the billions.
Luffy planted his foot up and used his hand to scan the horizon.
They're the officer agents' underlings. There must be at least 200 men out there. They're the elite of Baroque works. This won't be like Whiskey Park.
Yikes! Usopp pointed out at the armada. Let's blast them all right now. Yeah, dude, let's just blow them up. No, wait, let's eat first, Luffy replied. And Zolo smiled. Fools, forget these little fish. Yeah, Sanji replied as he took a puff of the smoke. Don't lose sight of the real target. There are only 8 of us. Tie them on tight. Zolo said as he started putting as he put on a wristband as he tightened what is that, wristband on his forearm? No, they put something put a fabric on the forearm. Every single one of them started doing putting these bandages, Chopper included. This enemy has too many secrets.
Good idea.
Phoebe says she helped Nami put hers on.
With these on, we'll be able to tell who's who.
Are they really that good? These clone fruit transformations. Sanji says he tied his own knot. They're not just good, Usopp said. They're perfect. You should have seen him. Sounds like a freak to me. He was great. We couldn't help cheering. It was a fantastic performance. And now that we know what we're up against, Solo pounded his fist onto his forearm. We have to plan our moves carefully. But what am I supposed to do? Chopper said. Just do whatever you can. If you can't win, it's okay to run. Just do your best. Usopp raised his fist up. That's your motto, Usopp. Quack. Whatever I can do. Okay, I'll give it a try. Even though I'm merely a doctor. We're nearing the harbor. So Solo said as the island was in sight, and the first town of Alabaster was clear as day, with large buildings and various bazaars and people.
Let's anchor in the cove to the west. We have to hide the ship.
Nami said. And Luffy threw his fist up with a big smile on his face. Right, dudes. No matter what happens from here on, our left arms will bear the sign of our fellowship of the ring.
Don't you mean wristbands? Maybe a bracelet.
Some kind of things, but yeah, we get the point, Luffy. Alright, dudes. Let's go ashore. And the whole entire crew threw their fists out at each other, including Kato and his wing, ready to do their throwdown and free Alabaster from the crazy tyranny. And Luffy screams out, "To eat!" Then on to Alabaster, dudes. And Phoebe screams out,
Alabaster's an afterthought?
and the waves laughed. Ooh. Phoebe, staring out at the wristband that Solo planned down, thought to herself,
"We're up against a ring of assassins, Luffy."
uh, "Oh, oh, okay. Oh, I see how this panel works. Gotcha. As the crew continued talking on, Phoebe stared out at the wristband that was made for her, along with the crew. We're up against a ring of assassins, Luffy. Okay, dude. We have to control our desires, understand? Okay, gotcha. And Phoebe clutched onto the wrist and smiled. The port of Nanohana, Alabaster Kingdom. The bazaar was bustling with business, and all the citizens walked through the street with going on about their day. Many doing business, others making their purchases, some just passing by to their next destination, and others delivering their shipments. Over at the Spice Beam, there was a large crowd gathered at the entrance. As they all mumbled and murmured, looking through the windows and inside the doors. There, Mr. Zero sat. Oh. Is that? Hmm. No way. Is that Smoker? Hmm. It's hard to tell who's who here. I think that could be Ace. No, is that Smoker? That Smoker. Shoot, man. Why does that get Smoker? Don't tell me I didn't write that down. Here we go. Smoker pseudo. Gotcha. That Smoker. Oh my gosh, did Smoker show up? Oh man. Hey, welcome. How you doing today? How you doing, Jelly the Gamer 7? Trying to figure out if I'm looking at Smoker here, before, so I can get the right voice. Alright. I think that's Smoker. I'll take the chance on that. Here's a crowd gathering. There's a crowd going over the. What's going on? Yep, it's him. Yes. Oh my gosh. And their smokers stared out, stood beside Tashigi as they try to figure out what's happening.
One of the customers suddenly dropped dead. Oh, look!
One of the crewmates hurried over. Captain Smoker, there's a bad man in town. So it was Smoker. Oh my gosh, man, this is taking. Inside the restaurant, as the crowd murmured, "Whoa." He was talking to the proprietor. There was a guy laying dead with his face in the plate of food. Inside the plate of food, with the fork still with a piece of still having a piece of meat attached. He was unmoving, his muscles bulging out. Nobody knows if he was alive or not. one of the crowd says, he was talking to the proprietor and he suddenly dropped dead. He was a traveler. Some of the people think he may have unknowingly eaten a desert strawberry. That's what people are saying. Desert strawberry? The crowd continued on as they stared at the shirtless man with the Buddhist symbol manji on his back with a big face tattooed over it, smiling out at everybody. It's poisonous spider. That looks just like a strawberry. But if you accidentally eat it, a few days later, it suddenly collapses. And for several hours after that, it's contagious poison spreads throughout your body. And with his face buried into the plate, there was a tattoo on his side, with the letters ASCE with the S crossed out, leaving the word to spell out ace instead. That's right, no one wants to go near him. In the desert, ignorance can kill you. Poor devil, he's still clutching his fork, the crowd said as they continued to stare at the carcass without knowing what to do, and the chef scratching his head. His body's different in that position. The desert strawberry kills you that quick. And suddenly he lifted his head up. Wubba! And the crowd screams out, ah, he's alive! He looked to his left and he looked to his right as everybody checked up on him. Noah, I still haven't established Ace. I mean, I want to call him. I want to give him Jim Carrey voice, since it's Ace. You know, Ace Ventura. I don't know. I guess I'll go with the Aussie.
Are you alright?
The lady asked him as he grabbed her skirt and lifted it up, causing her to scream. Ah! And he wiped his face on it. And as the crowd watched in horror. Crikey! Well, you know. He looked. He fixed his hat and looked around. His hat had a couple of jewels on it. One with a smiley face and the other with a sad face. Oh my gosh, that is the perfect ripe to do Luffy's voice. Anyway. Yeah, he looks Australian enough. He had a skull with a ram's horns on his medallion with some beads. He has a knife holstered up on the side. He was in shorts and black boots, and he has a load, and he has a log on on the wrist. He looked around, got his bearings as he continued chewing and chewing and chewing, and then he turned back to his plate and said, crikey, I fell asleep. You fell asleep, the crowd screamed out in horror. He fell asleep in the middle of a conversation while eating with his food in his mouth. Crikey, what's the big deal, mate? We were worried about you. The crowd leaned in on him, and he looked out at the chef and asked, "Hey, mate, you hired these chameleons?" "No, sir. We're just glad you're all right." And then he collapsed into his food again, face first, and the crowd screams out, "Ryu!" Outside, the people were like, "Oh, what? He's not dead. It's a false alarm." The smoker continued listening. He adjusted his glasses and lifted them and pulled them down. "By the way, mate, yeah, have you seen this guy around here?" the young man asked. "He wears a straw hat." And that's when Smoker entered in. "You got a lot of nerve showing your face around here." Smoker took a puff out of his 2 cigars. What's Whitebeard's 2nd Division Commander doing here? Portgas D Ace. Oh, another D. Huh. I better note that. Mm. Uh-oh. What did I put? Uh-oh. I lost Ace. Here we go. Another D. Another D. There we go. And the crowd screams out, "Whitebeard! He's one of Whitebeard's pirates!" "It's true, I recognize that tattoo on his back. What's he doing here?" The crowd was ready to run as the chef stood frozen in place. Huh? Meanwhile, Luffy is running through the port at high speed, leaving behind a plume of dirt and dust, with tears falling down his eyes and a smile on his face, determined to get what he wants. "A restaurant, dude! Luffy, wait!" the crew screamed out. "Boy, I'm just looking for my kid brother." Portgas D Ace, 2nd Division Commander at Whitebeard's Pirates, smiled on at Smoker, and waited for and continued. Wow, kid brother, huh? To be continued. One Piece by Eiichiro Oda. One Piece by Eiichiro Oda, Chapter 158, Landing Alabasta. The waves were nice and calm on the shores of Alabasta, as the town of Nanohana proved to be a very big city, and they all lost Luffy in the process. Luffy's crew, now without their captain, because he was so hungry he ran off like a bat out of hell, are trying to figure out what to do next. "What do we do? Nanohana's a big place." Usopp said, "How will we ever find Luffy?" Solo asked. "How will we ever find Luffy?" Phoebe said. "Don't worry, Phoebe. Just look for the noisiest place in town. He's bound to be there," Sanji said with his arms wide open. "Ha ha ha!" Usopp laughed. "You got that right." And Karu nodded in agreement.
Let's hope not,"
Nami said with her arms crossed as Zolo scanned the area.
"Luffy needs to remember he's got a price on his head. There could be bounty hunters around."
"Don't worry about Luffy," Solo said. "Let's eat. We can make plans after that."
"Wait, that's..."
Vivi noticed in the distance. It was Mr. Three's ship, docked over, also in hiding by the banks of the shore.
"Mr. Three's ship!"
"What? You mean that jerk is still alive?" "Uh-oh." Karu screamed out.
"That ship runs on Mr. Three's wax powers. He's somewhere in this kingdom."
Wow, this is going to be epic. In the middle of town, the crowd continued about their daily business as shipper how you say, crap, I forgot their names. Shipments were being delivered, and people were buying items at the bazaar, and people were eating at the restaurants. And speaking of restaurant, over at the Spice, the crowd was very shocked when they heard who Ace actually is. "Did you hear that? It's one of Whitebeard's pirates." "I've heard of this Captain Smoker too." "So, what now?" the Smoker said as he stared down Ace. "Give yourself up." Dang. Should I go for it? Should I switch it up? Sorry. No. No. Shut up, Beep. No. Man, I lost Butthead's voice. Sorry. Oh yeah, I really did lose his voice. No, I lost Butthead's voice. Mm. No, and I lost Beavis' voice too. Shut up, Butthead. No, I can't do it. Dang it. Oh, dang. But then again, I could get away with the saying that. Okay, I think I could get away with that. Yeah. Okay, okay, okay. I know how I could get around this. uh, doing good, doing good. How about you? Chat room. Let's see. Sorry, mate, no can do it. Meanwhile, Luffy is running at high speed with a pig snout, sniffing out for the food. Dude, what's that strange smell? It sounds. Is that some kind of sushi or something? And he's sniffing and sniffing and sniffing as he runs at high speed, and he noticed from miles away the restaurant that he's smelling. Found it, dude. A restaurant. And the crowd looked at him, wondering what the heck is his problem. And he ran at high speed to get to his destination. I'm looking for another pirate right now. I'm not interested in your head. Smoker says he took a puff of his 2 cigars. All right, mate. Ace said, "Let me go." No kidding. No can do. As long as I'm in the Navy, you're still a pirate, and you're still a pirate. And Luffy stretched his arms out and grabbed the door and flung himself in, as Ace said. Well, that's crikey, mate. That's a dumb reason. Can't we all just get along? And Luffy screamed out, "Rocket!" Flying through the door and slamming headfirst into Smoker, knocking the naval office, the naval captain over. Gak! He screamed out, and Ace was shocked with bulging eyes. Huh? Dude, a restaurant. I'm starving. Luffy smiled, his fist pumped into the air, ignoring the gaping hole he created, and the entire crowd sat in horror of what happened. Luffy sat down with fork and knife in hand and started slamming on the table. Mister, food, dude, food, dude, food, dude. To which the chef says, you better run. Delish, dude. This food is great. Thanks, but you. Crikey, who did that? Ace said as he got up to his feet. And he looked at the crowd. Wow. Luffy, the heck did Luffy do? Oh my gosh. Ace bowed at the couple sitting at their table having dinner. Sorry, mate. Sorry to interrupt your meal. Shush. He walked in and saw Luffy at the table waiting to eat, and Smoker relighting his cigars. Oh, Luffy. And Smoker was shocked as he stretched his hand out. Oi, Luffy! And suddenly, Smoker pushed pushed Ace's head right into the floor. Straw hat. Smoker screamed out as smoke poured out of his mouth, and the and the chef's mouth gaped wide open in horror as Luffy started eating his meal and scarfing down copious amounts of spaghetti and meat down his throat, stretching his mouth out. Smoker just stood there quietly watching as Luffy continued to horf down the food by force. So you actually showed up. Smoker said, "Stop eating!" He screamed out as Luffy continued on, without a care in the world, chomping down on his meal. He just stared at him very hard as his flashback kicked in. Our name Smoker, Captain Smoker of the Navy, and he looked at Smoker taking another puff of his 2 cigars. And suddenly, Luffy spits out his food and screams out, "You're that smoke dude." Translates, "You're that smoke guy." "Better you." Translates, "What are you doing here?" "Why you?" Smoker wiped the spat food off his face as Luffy gathered up all the meal and crammed it into his mouth. "Beg for the burger." Translates, "Thanks for the food." And the chef was shocked. Luffy with his face now stretched out with food, holding the food in, ran out as Smoker charged after him. "Stop!" he screamed out. "Ba ba boom boom ba ba ba." Translated is, "Uh-oh, my gum attacks don't work on him. Bad, boo, bad, dude. Well, I'd better run it." Ace lifted his head up and got to his feet and growled. He ran out and screamed out, "Crikey, Luffy, wait, it's me, mate. It's me, bro." Meanwhile, everybody looked over at the chef as he just quietly said, "He didn't pay." Smoker screamed out, "Tashigi."
Yes, sir, Captain Smoker.
She said, looking out in his direction as Luffy sprinted at high speed, struggling to swallow his food as Smoker gave chase. And she held a crate of supplies that she purchased.
"Need a towel? It's very hot here,"
she said with a smile. "Stop him, it's straw hot."
"Straw hat? I'll get him,"
she screamed out as Luffy slowly finished swallowing his food. Ugh. And with her sword unsheathed, she swung hard at Luffy, and he jumped up in the air. And like a little ball, he bounced off the wall, one right after the other, and reached the rooftop. She looked up as Luffy ran along the rooftops at high speed, and the crowd screamed out, "Who is that?" Smoker looked up as he started slowly transforming into smoke blast and launched himself up into the air. He reemerged. He materialized on the top of the roof and ran fast, screaming out, "Tashigi, assemble the troops immediately. Search every city, every corner of the city." And she screamed out,
"Aye, sir,"
as the crowd screamed out, "This is going to be a fight to remember." As Luffy jumped from rooftop to rooftop, Smoker unleashed his first attack, White Snake. And just as it was about to grab him, Luffy forced as much speed as he could, growing "Grrr, ugh." Meanwhile, on another part of town, on the outskirts of Nanohana, Vivi and Nami are in a clothing shop, trying out the latest outfits. Nami wearing a long skirt and top with a long jacket, as well as Vivi in different designs, smiled gleefully.
"Oh, they're beautiful. I love these clothes. Maybe we shouldn't have sent Sanji to shop for us. We're not exactly going to blend in with the common people. These are dancers' outfits."
Meanwhile, Sanji clasped his hands together and his heart turned to eyes, and his smoke started puffing out heart shapes. "What do you mean? Dancers are common people. No one will ever dream you're a princess in a pirate dress like that."
"But we'll be
Okay.
but we'll be walking through the desert.
Don't worry, if you get tired, I'll be happy to carry you. And he looked over at the men who are wearing disguises, who are also wearing disguises. The women look great, but you guys don't look like pirates anymore. You look like thieves. To which Zolo took a chomp out of his chicken leg. And you don't? Huh? Chopper, what are you doing? And Usopp said as Chopper laid on the ground, covering his nose. My nose, it feels like it's going to fall off.
Oh, it's no wonder, Chopper. Your nose is very sensitive, and Nanohana is famous for its perfumes.
Perfumes? What is that?
Some of them are very potent,
she answered. And Nami grabbed the bottle of perfume and sprayed it into her face.
Ah, like this?
Whoa! He immediately grabbed his nose again. Stop! It's a nasty. While Sanji rolled all over the ground with hearts in his eyes. Sigh! I'm falling into the dungeon of love! Zolo took a sip of his alcohol, unimpressed at Sanji. What a fool. And Sanji leaned into him.
Alright. We have the supplies. We need to cross the desert. Vivi, where did you say we'd headed? First of all, we have to stop the rebels.
Phoebe says she remembered a man in the cloak.
Before they bathe this land in blood. So we're going to find their base and find their leader. It's an oasis known as Yuba. And going to Yuba means...
And suddenly Zolo pulled her into the ground. And he screamed out, hide!
Huh? What?
And they looked around as they saw turmoil in the distance. It's the Navy. What are they doing here? He sees the soldiers running at high speed with swords brandished, chasing down someone. There's a ruckus over there. Don't let him get away! They overheard. Maybe it's a pirate. Oh my gosh. And Zolo noticed that it was Luffy being chased by the Navy. And he screamed out, "You! Hey, Zolo, dude!" Luffy noticed from the distance, and Zolo turned his face around and tried to try to mask it with his cloak. What? And that's when the Navy looked in that direction, screaming out, "There's Straw Hat's crew! Don't let the..." And Zolo screamed out, "Don't lead them to us, you idiot! Hey, dudes, you're all there!" Smoker immediately swung his attack and told his crew, "Stay back, Captain! I won't let you get away." He unleashed a smoke fist, a fist made out of smoke, looking to strike Luffy as fast as possible. White fist. He increased the speed of his attack. Sun flare, dude. And suddenly, it caught up to Luffy as Smoker watched on. Oh. Instead, it got blocked off. You. Crikey. Give it up, mate. It was Ace with his hand up, causing the whole entire smoke to dissipate. You may be smoke, but I'm fire. Flames started building up around his body. We're too evenly matched to sell this now, boy.
Who was that?
And Luffy realized who it was. Ace, dude. Crikey, bro. You never changed, do you? Hey, Luffy. He smiled back. To be continued. One Piece by Eiichiro Oda. One Piece by Eiichiro Oda, chapter 159. Kimin. The waves crashed into the shore as the Marine's ship remained docked, and as the shoreline laughed at the waves, there was someone on board waiting to figure out what's going on. What's going on anyway? Did something happen in town? All the Navy have left the ship? The Mr. 11 said as he was tied to the mast. Perfect timing. Now I can make my escape. Mr. 11! You know my name? Then you must be some of the millions. He looked up at the crowd. Don't just stand there. Untie me. We do indeed work for Baroque Works, but we're billions. They said. One dressed with the plunger on his head, another with a very pointy hairstyle, and one wearing a wok for a hat. They looked down at Mr. 11 as he replied, "Can let's become number agents? We're a match for an agent with a high number like yours, Mr. 11." "Oh, I'm sorry. Forgive me, billions. Would you mind untying me?" "Don't be ridiculous." The plunger hat pointed his gun at him. "I'm about to make an opening for myself." "What? No, what?" And there was a loud bang. Meanwhile, back at the chase. Luffy and the crew is running with the supplies in hand as fast as they can, despite the heaviness of the items that they were carrying. The Usopp looked out at Phoebe and screamed, "What? We're leaving the island already?"
"No, we're going to sail the ship up the river to the interior. The desert lies beyond that. We just stopped in Nanohana for supplies."
"Hurry!" Sanji screamed out, "The Navy is coming!" "Get aboard and hoist the sails," Zolo screamed out. "Jeez, dudes, I never thought I'd meet you here in Ace." And to which his flashback kicked in. "Crikey, there's no time to talk, mate. Take your getaway. I'll catch up to you later. After I take care of these guys, bro. Go, bro." "Let's go, dudes," to which Phoebe screamed out.
"Huh? Who's that guy?"
Meanwhile, back in the present. "Luffy," Solo screamed out. "Get on board quick." "Okay, dude."
"Wait, Karo. I have an important mission for you."
Karwak. The duck saluted her.
"Go straight to Alabarna and give this letter to my father."
She handed the duck her letter.
"It contains proof of Sir Crocodile and Baroque Works' plot. Everything that Igaram and I discovered is recorded here. I'm trusting you. Don't end up a Szechuan duck, okay?"
Karwak.
We'll let my father know that I'm alive and that I've returned to Alabaster with powerful allies. Can you do it?"
Karwak.
"You'll have to cross the desert alone."
Karwak.
"Now, don't be duck food. Last thing I need is for you to be a soup. Now, you must drink your water sparingly in the desert and let my father know there's hope for the kingdom."
Karwak. And Karu started running off in the opposite direction, taking sips out of his barrel drink.
"Conserve water!"
she screamed out as she watched him overdoing it. Meanwhile, on board, Sanji kicked Luffy right upside the head. "That goes for you too!" As he stopped him from drinking up the large barrel of water that he had in hand. "You had it!" Usopp screamed out. "We just bought that water!" And as they set sail to head for the river, Zolo asked, "Big brother, that was your big brother?" "Yep, dude." "Well, I'm not surprised that you have a brother, but what's he doing on the Grand Line?" "He's a pirate, dude. He's after the One Piece too." He smiled with glee. "Ace is 3 years older than me. He left the island 3 years earlier." "Imagine that! Two brothers who both ate the devil fruit." "Yeah, I couldn't believe it either," Luffy said with a proud face. "Huh?" "Even when Ace hadn't eaten the devil fruit and I had, I still couldn't beat him up. He's tough, that Ace. Ha 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 ha.
Huh? You couldn't beat him? A normal person? I guess the big brother of a beast is an even bigger beast.
Yeah, I was such a loser, dudes. Ha 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 ha. Luffy continued laughing. But now I can beat him. Sure you can, Solo said with skepticism. And suddenly Ace leapt up into the air. Crikey, who can beat you, mate? Who can you beat, mate? He landed and smiled as he held onto his hat. Ah, Ace, dude. Hey, bro. Greetings, all. Thanks for looking after my kid brother. And everyone bowed as Solo said, don't mention it. Dude, what are you doing, Alabaster, Ace, bro? Huh? Crikey, didn't you get my message on Drum Island, bro? Message? Never mind, bro. It's no big deal anyway. But I'm glad that I got to see you again. I'm here resolving a matter of business. And I wanted to see you. Ace continued crouching on the banister. So how about joining Whitebeard's pirates, bro? Your friends could come too. We could make a great martyr. No thanks, dude. Well, I just thought I'd ask, Crocky. You're such a fool. What?
Whitebeard? Usopp said. Is that tattoo on your back his mark?
Yeah, mate, and I'm very proud of it. This manji is a very good mark of good luck. Whitebeard is the greatest pirate I've ever known, bro. I'm gonna help him become king of the pirates. It's not gonna be you, Luffy. Okay by me, dude. But then again, I guess we gotta fight. True, mate. And maybe I'll knock that Aussie accent off your head and you can actually talk for real. You could try it.
Why don't you sit down and talk? I'll make some tea.
Ace raised his hand up to Sanji's offer. Don't bother, mate. My business here is almost finished. Ah, okay. Luffy asked, dude, won't the Navy be coming after us? Not like you, bro. I took care of them with my flame powers. There was total crikiness.
Blast the net of fire!
Tashigi screamed out.
We can't find the strong pirates, Captain. What are your orders?
We left Mr. 11 on the ship and somebody did him in. Alabasta is a big country. Smoker said and took 2 puffs of smoke. If we let them get away, we'll never catch them. Port guys, why did he have to interfere?
Captain Smoker, sorry I'm late. The straw hat.
Where have you been, Tashigi? Smoker lowered his head in disappointment.
On the other side of town,
the sergeant said, and she quickly shushed him.
Sergeant?
What do you make of this? BB was with those guys, Smoker said.
Dee the princess? What was she doing with a bunch of pirates?
That's what I'm trying to figure out. On top of that, there's a bad one on the loose in this country right now. You know I hate the 7 warlords of that sea, right?
Sure, Crocodile? But right now,
Tashigi said,
he's working with the government forces.
He's always been a sharp one, that pirate, but he's not the type to take orders from the government. Not him. Tashigi, remember one thing. He took a long puff of his smoke. Once a pirate, always a pirate. Meanwhile, back along the shoreline on the merry-go, Ace tossed a little item to Luffy. Yeah, bro. I want you to have that, boy. Dude? Hang on to it always. He smiled. It's just a piece of paper, bro. Yeah, bro. But that piece of paper will bring us together again, mate. Huh? Don't you want it? I want it, dude. Good, mate. A kid brother like you makes a big brother worry. And all you mites, you mite away. I bet he gives you good guys plenty of grief, too. You take care of him, okay? Ace smiled as Luffy's crew watched on. as he leapt off and landed onto a boat below. Huh? Dude, you're going already, bro? Yeah, mate. Stay a little longer. We haven't seen each other for a long time. Sorry, bro, but I'm in a hurry, mate. Stop with the accent. I'm trying to channel my Aussie-ness, mate. Bruh. Besides, mate, I'm on the trail of Major Outlaw right now. He's been calling himself Blackbeard lately. He used to belong to Whitebeard's 2nd Division. He was one of my henchmen. He committed the worst crime possible for a pirate. He killed a shipmate and jumped ship. Ace said as he started wrapping up the rope. As his commander, brah, I'm responsible. If it wasn't for that strip on the Bobby, I'd never even come to the backwater port like this. And he smiled up at Luffy. Next time we meet, brah, we'll be on the high seas. Yeah, dude. Suddenly, there's a lot of running going on. Whitebeard's 2nd Division commander is here. It was definitely Fire Fist Ace. I saw him. If we get him, they'll promote us to agents for sure. Man the ship. We'll capture him at sea. There was a whole crowd of bounty hunters rushing along the shoreline, getting ready to disembark to make their chase on Ace. Meanwhile, Luffy's crew watched on as Ace sailed away on a speedboat. Wow. On a speedboat.
Oh, can't be it. How could someone so serious and intelligent be related to Luffy?
Nami said, as Nami smiled.
Yeah, guys, I was expecting another Luffy, even though they were talking the same.
Oh no, the brother. Wow. And Chopper shed tears. And what an awesome big brother. Dang, I wish I had one. You never know who you'll meet in the ocean, Sanji said, and he took a puff of smoke. As everyone watched on, as Luffy smiled gleefully, waving his hand out at his brother. See ya, bruh. And as Ace flew by at high speed on his high-speed boat, he noticed something in the distance. It was multiple ships, all blocking his direction, getting ready to attack him. Let's go! We billions are 50 strong. That's more than enough. We got 5 ships. Just try to escape, Anchor Boy. Crikey, Ace said. More ships on the Barbie for me. All right, let's show them how a gator truly bites. And he jumped up in the air as all the shipmates screamed out, "Oh, he's in the air! Shoot him!" When he comes down the ocean, he's finished. And as he flew right past them, his boat, which went underwater, emerged from underneath, waiting for him to land. And land he did, with his fist raised out, covered in flames. And every single ship exploded, one right after another, as he screamed out, "Fire Fist, mate!" And all the crew screamed out, "Ooh!" He looked back, his fist stretched out, right out, with covered in flames, and the fire consuming all the boats. With a little smile on his face, he tipped his hat. "Crikey, I'll see you on the high seas, Luffy, my bro." To be continued. One Piece by Eiichiro Oda. One Piece by Eiichiro Oda, chapter 160. Spider's Cafe at 8 o'clock. Luffy and his crew are still making their way up along the shoreline as they head for the river to get them into the desert. As the waves remained calm and destruction that his brother left in his wake was far behind them, Nami spoke to Luffy.
What did your brother give you?
It's just a piece of paper, dude.
There's nothing written on it either.
I don't get it either. Well, whatever it is, Ace told me to hang on to it, and I'm gonna hang on to it. Nami sewed his hat as Luffy as Luffy continued. So sew it in real tight, dude.
Ah, okay, it's in the bond. Here you go.
She handed the straw hat to Luffy. Thanks, dude. That's great. Now it's safe, Nami. I'll never lose it. Usopp approached them and asked, "But what is it anyway?"
Luffy, I want you to wear this.
Vivi arrived and presented him some clothes. Why, dude? It looks thick.
It's meant to be. During the day, it can be over 120 degrees in the desert. Your skin will burn if it's exposed.
Huh? How come you guys get to wear cool clothes and I don't?
Ah, we'll be covered too.
Nami pointed out. What? Sanji was in horror as tears began falling down his eyes. You'll be covered up! Oh well, you can't help. It can't be helped, dude. And Chopper jumped up and slouched over the banister, looking out beyond. What? We're at the edge of the island, and that caught Vivi's attention.
This isn't the edge of the island,
She said.
This is the bank of the Sadora River. You can see the far bank over there.
Oh, you're right, Vivi.
Look, I drew a map of this region.
She presented to Chopper as he looked at her, as he followed her finger, tracking where the destination is.
This is our destination, the oasis town of Yuba, just beyond Eromalu. That's where the rebel base camp is.
Zolo says. He leaned his back on the wall and crossed his arms. Let's that's where we'll find the rebel leader of the rebels, right? Yeah. Luffy threw his fist into the air. We're gonna kick his butt. No. Vivi clasped her hands in horror.
We're going to reason with him. I don't want any more bloodshed.
There are about 700,000 rebels, right? You really think we could stop that many? Luffy, Zolo made a valid point.
Stop them? You'll understand when we get to you, but then you'll see just what Baroque Works has done to this kingdom, and how much the people of Alabasta have suffered. I'll stop them,
she said, clenching onto her skirt in frustration.
I'll stop this senseless violence. I won't let Baroque Works have their way in this country anymore.
She got everyone's attention as Nami replied,
Oh, Vivi.
Usopp was silent. Vivi, you can leave the meals on our desert journey to me, Sanji said. And Chopper threw his fist up in the air. Yeah, I'm so excited for this weird encounter. And Zolo smiled with glee, clenching the hilt of his sword. I didn't know. Alright, dude. Luffy threw his fist up in the air. We got you, Vivi. Let's go. On to Yupa.
That's Yuba.
Yuba, dudes.
Oh, boy.
Meanwhile, over at Mr. Zero's office, with the giant hippogator staring down at him, unimpressed. He looked out at the window, staring out at the crowd below, as Miss All Sunday? Miss All... Wait, is that Miss All Sunday? Ah, there's so many characters. Game of Thrones. He watched Don. The plan goes into action in just 2 more days. Have you made all the arrangements?
But your partner remembers. Yes, every single thing is in place. 150 of the billions are on standby in Nanohana. I've recalled Mr. Tues as well, but it seems Mr. 3 couldn't be found. All the officer agents will gather tonight at Spider's Cafe at 8 o'clock.
Very good, woman.
It's already 5 o'clock, indeed. They'll be getting it soon.
Spider's Cafe in the middle of nowhere with a giant water tower next to it and grass, small patches of grass sprouting out within the desert sand. Baroque Works headquarters in Alabasta. The sign rustled within the wind, and the scorpion and the hippo scorpion scuttled along the ground. There was a sign on the doorknob that read "closed," and a teapot was fizzing, boiling along, as a woman sat reading a book to the sound of music. It was jazz. It was nice and relaxing. The door opened wide. Oh boy, I'm gonna be coming up with some crazy voices. Let's see. We got Mr. Four and Miss Merry Christmas entering through the door with a big smile on their faces. Okay, fair enough. Ho ho ho! Merry Christmas! Merry Christmas! Oh, I'm pooped. I don't know. Who is? Wow, she's the one who's talking. Can I get a? Let me see here. Let me try this one. Hold on. Give her Betty's voice. From Kung Pao. Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas. Oh, I'm pooped. What a journey. I'm exhausted. My back is killing me. It's all your fault, Mr. Four. You may call me Betty. You're too slow on my back, you idiot. Mr. Four, Officer Agent Baroque Works, and Miss Merry Christmas, Officer of Agent Baroque Works, stepping on in with oblong-shaped bodies, weird shirts, and a giant screw-like sword on the back of Mr. Four's head, and a backpack on Miss Merry Christmas's. She has large frazzled hair with a headband and sunglasses, and a Christmas tree for a tie, and Mr. Four walking in with massive tattoo-looking sleeves, a giant scarf covering his face, and a sloppy head. I'm sorry. Yeah, Matt Damon. Okay. Matt Damon, World Police. There we go. Matt Damon. Here we go. Sorry. About that. About that. Wow, he really is. Oh, dang. I did pick the right voice. Oh my gosh. Sorry about that. Yes. How's business, Paula? Miss Merry Christmas said. The place is kind of empty. That's empty with a capital E. I'll just give her a regular voice.
Hello, Miss Merry Christmas, Mr. Four.
She said as she stood behind the counter, ready to prepare a meal. Paula, the proprietor of Spider's Cafe, with hands on her hip, with a top and a hat, pair of glasses, with a long bushy tail.
You have the place to yourselves today. You'll have orange pekoe, and Mr. Four, you like apple tea, right?
I don't want it too hot. I want to be able to drink it right away. Now hurry it up. Bring it out. Bring it.
You seem well. How's work going?
In our business, you fail, you die. I'm doing splendidly, you idiot. Miss Merry Christmas snatched the drink and gulped it down in one go as Mr. Four stood very quietly as the conversation moved on.
Of course, how silly of me.
Uh, um, Pola brushed it off easily. What's that weird music you're playing?
Music? Oh, that's a sonata. It doesn't have any lyrics.
What kind of music? It does no lyrics. And suddenly there's a strange sound going on outside. Undalala, undalala. Huh? Who could that be? And outside it was it was Mr. Two. Hola, kura. He sang out loud as a power crew line danced with him on their way into the to the cafe. This world is made for men and women, but when you're men, you're a man and I'm a woman, and that's what the strongest, oh yes, I am the strongest, the strongest, the strongest, the strongest, the strongest. Oh, come my way. Hello. He slammed the door open and ballet danced his way inside and screamed out, "How do you do?"
Are you crazy?
Paula screamed out as he tiptoed his way over to the counter. "I'm not crazy, Paula. I'm just happy. Let me have an octopus." He slapped his hand on the counter.
An octopi?
An octopus parfait. Isn't it obvious? Then he looked over at his crew waiting outside and said, as they saluted to him, "You can all go home now." "Aye, aye, Captain." "And one must never miss dance practice." "Aye, aye, Captain." Then he turned his attention over to Miss Monday, to Miss Merry Christmas, as she lay across the table, being given a massage. "Oh," he said, "What are you doing here, fatty and old bat?" Shut up. That shrill voice of yours make my back ache. "So, I hear that Mr. One and his partners are coming," Mr. Two said. "I've never had the chance to meet him before. I'm so excited. So very excited. But everyone's afraid of him." Oh my gosh. Oh. Oh my gosh. That's hilarious. Mm. Mm. Oh boy. "Oh, that doesn't matter to me." Mr. Three peeking his eyes from outside the window, making sure he doesn't get killed, and everything is safe. uh, Night is falling. It's almost time. And Mr. Two began dancing and pirouetting around the entire cafe. "This is so boring. I just keep twirling. I'll just do that." "Ha ha ha." Mr. Four laughed. Stop that. You're making me dizzy," Miss Merry Christmas said. "Oh, don't you make me, you old bat." That's what you want." The two of them were ready to throw down as Mr. Four laughed. And Paula screamed out,
"Stop it, you two."
Meanwhile, outside, someone was approaching, dragging something along with him as the clock struck 8 p.m. There was a whole big fight going on as everybody started throwing down to the sound of noise and everything. And all of a sudden, the door opened, and a plume of smoke billowed through the whole entire cafe. "Hey, what's the big idea? Why'd you crash in here like that?" He looked at his crew. That's not it." Mm. mm. Uh, oh, there we go. Mm. We're getting Mr. One here. Let's see. Mr. One. Hmm. Hmm. So that, which one haven't I gone with? Hmm. Hmm. It's been quite a while. What should I go with? Should I go with integrity? Oh yeah. Friends of yours, Bond Clay. There we go. Okay. Integrity. You lack integrity. And Mr. Bond Clay froze in place. I found them slinking around the desert, but they're not dead. Y'all seem to be getting along. And a big, giant, muscular bound dude with his bazillion abs and a kanji across his chest that reads one stepped inside. It was Mr. One, officer agent of Baroque Works, with with short hair and a vest on. His each step he took put fear in the heart of everybody. Don't waste your strength in pointless fellowships. Those are my henchmen. Mr. Thurs, stop. And Mr. One stared down as Mr. As Mr. Two delivered his attack. Swan, arabesque. And as he ordered his kicks at Mr. One slinked back, dodging every single strike. Mr. One threw his punch, and Mr. Two dodged it with ease. Duh, he screamed out as they continued on throwing punches and dodging at every turn, blocking every strike. Grum! Mr. Two threw a kick and Mr. One crossed his arms to take the shot, and they both pushed off of each other. Mr. One flew out the wall as Mr. Two rolled along the ground. Miss Merry Christmas screamed out, "You demolished it!" Mr. One got up to his feet and growled, "I guess you want to die, son." And he was ready to do his attack, but Pola stood right before him.
Wait, Mr. One, let's all calm down.
Don't stop me, Miss Doublefinger. I'm going to kill him. Let go of me, fatty. Mr. Two screamed out as Mr. Four held him down.
Mr. Two, calm down. It's 8 o'clock and all the agents are here. And our orders have been delivered to Spider's Cafe. Now we'll go to Rain Base, the town of dreams.
Pola, a.k.a. Miss Doublefinger, Officer Agent Baroque Works, lowered her glasses.
The one we call Boss, whose face we've never seen, is waiting for us there.
To be continued. One Piece by Eiichiro Oda. Well, this was a very interesting setup for the next arc. It's like all the parties have converged together that we had met and had at the start of the Grand Line. Going back to before they went over the mountain to get into the Grand Line with Smoker. Very, very interesting turn of events here. This looks like it's gonna be grand and epic in scale, and I'm very excited for it. We get to meet. Let's see here. For the most part, everybody met Mr. Two out in sea, which was pretty funny. It's pretty funny because of the fact that Luffy and Usopp was using Karo as as a fishing bait, and he's just dangling there and hanging out. But what's great about it is that we get to learn about his powers right off the bat, and really a very rare thing to see in storytelling, where our protagonists actually get the advantage for once. Especially here in One Piece, it's like everybody, it's like the whole crew never gets any type of advantages over the enemies, and this time around they do. This one particularly with Mr. 2, and Solo's idea got everyone ready for his Gum Gum powers at the very least, which is the Clone Fruit, which allows him to take the shape of everybody's face. Let's see here. It's right over here. There we go. See, he takes Lucy's face, and then he could take on any form he wants. Just by simple contact. He doesn't have to slap them or punch them. He just did that because he's an idiot. But he not only can take their faces, but he can even take their bodies, as you can see Nami beating the living crap out of Mr. 2 for doing that with her body. So basically, this is a good start. I guess this is the starting point for the new arc, because now because now it's all about preparations and setting up. But yeah, it was pretty simple enough. Pretty simple enough. A good start, because Zolo came up with the plan, and he pretty much is going to. He got everybody all bandaged up and everything. I love this character design here. I'm wondering if there's plushies of the sea cat. That just looks so cool. So we find out that Alabaster, as a world rule, sees the sea cat as a sacred being. That's a nice establishment of culture. I don't think we've seen that yet in One Piece. I don't know if yeah. I mean, like, we've seen the culture of the two giants, but that was something that they've forgotten for a long time. Here we see one that is not forgotten. That's that the sea cat here is a sacred creature who cannot be who cannot be killed. So it's against the law. It's a law against it. It's against the law. At least I think it's against the law. It makes sense. But they consider it a very sacred creature, and Vivi made sure that they didn't turn him into a meal. But this is great, because all the towns that we visited, we don't see culture in and of itself, and here we got a nice little expansion of the world here with the sea cat being a culture. It really makes Alabaster a very more interesting place, to say the least. And I really like the design. Here's what his whole body looks like. That's what his body looked like right there, on the right side there, which is pretty cool. That's why I'm like, is there a plushie of it? That's a pretty cool plushie. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, just some more antics during this chapter. Turns out there's an armada. Baroque Works really is coming in with a heck of a lot of people. Like, they're ready for war. This is not some ordinary gathering of ships here. This is like a real war that's going to happen. Apparently, Luffy and the crew really got their attention big time. And yeah, that's not good. That's not good. How many of these guys are gonna do? There's a group called Millions and a group called Billions, who are trying to work their way up to the top and get a number so they could be one of the generals. But they were all pretty much pumped up. I really like this. This is a pretty cool thing. The Fellowship of the Ring here, the Fellowship of the Bling, whatever the bands are. But yeah, this is the crew so far. I'm not sure if Vivi and Karu is going to continue on. Probably not, because she is the crown princess and she's got to, take care of the country. Although that would be cool. That would be cool to see. But nevertheless, Luffy and his team really proved to her that they could do it. They can help her win it. They're very powerful, quite honestly, and only Luffy has the Gum Gum. Everybody else is all skilled. Oh no, sorry, Chopper and Luffy are the only ones with Gum Gums. The human fruit and the Gum Gum fruit. The devil fruit. They're the only ones with the devil fruit. Luffy with the Gum Gum, and Chopper with the human. There we go. There we go. Yeah, got it all corrected, clarified before everybody runs into the oh my gosh, it's the devil fruit. You've been reading 156 hours, you figure. So yeah, they're ready. But first they have to go and get supplies. So we get to see the town in action. We find that we find this interesting character here named Ace, which turned out to be Luffy's brother, with the symbol of the manji, the Buddhist symbol of good luck and good tidings. A very positive symbol. Before it was stolen, culturally stolen by the a-hole and corrupted for his most disgusting deeds. Yeah, the crowd is like looking at him in true Luffy fashion. He's truly Luffy's brother because he's eating a lot of food and he passes out on the plate, which is a little different from his brother, but he definitely is eating. Nice design too. His brother's got a good design. Ace is really looks good. So apparently, given his name, the last I guess D is the surname of the family. It's like D's the family name, even though it sits in the middle. I find that very interesting. I find that very interesting in terms of name play. Because how you say, normally first and last names, when it comes to first and last names, it's always first name and then you got the name at the last and such. But here, in this instance, Luffy's whole family, the family name is D and it sits in the middle, like a middle name kind of thing. I find that very interesting. Very interesting approach, really. So, as long as they got that D in the middle, they're part of the D family. I'm wondering what the D means. Don't tell me what the D means. I want to discover that. But yeah, it's very interesting in terms of name generation, in terms of name usage. That Oda would use the middle letter, what would normally be the middle name as the family name, and it's very fascinating because that means that every single character in the D family will have a different, what appears to be a first and last name, but that's not the family name. Very interesting. Very interesting, I gotta say. Very, very interesting to see. But Portgas D. Ace, brother of Monkey D. Luffy, who both may be the descendants of Goldie Roger. So, yeah, the Ace is the second division commander of Whitebeard's pirates, which I don't think we've seen yet. Have I seen? No, we haven't come across them yet. But yeah, they're pirates, and of course, they Ace knows Smoker. They're acquainted with each other, either they're rivals or something like that. But yeah, they're not exactly fighting each other, but Ace wasn't going to let Smoker attack his brother either. He had to protect his brother. He came with a delivery. We don't know what the letter is because apparently the letter is blanked out. But yeah, I really like the town's design here. I like the town's design over here. I'm saying? It's very lively, very well done. Very unique, quite honestly, especially along the shoreline on the top right there. It looks like a fun place to go to. And mind you, they're only at the edge of the ocean. We still haven't seen what the desert looks like. That's their next destination. But yeah, we get some comical hijinks because Luffy's so desperate to eat, hits Smoker, and we just get some moments of comedy here. I really hope that the live action will capture all of this. But yeah, we could see that Ace is not evil pirate. Saying he bowed and apologized to two innocent people that had nothing to do with the whole thing, and got frustrated. And he finds his brother, and so did Smoker. So the bounty is just too big on Luffy's head to be ignored, of course. But I just love this little panel here where he's just eating and eating and eating, and of course Luffy, as usual, takes 10 years to comprehend what's going on, and ends up leading a chase with big giant poofy mouth. Very hilarious, man. Never stop, Luffy. Never stop. But yeah, they all gave chase, and Chopper is discovering things like perfume, which messes up his nose. That's very very important, because that means that Chopper could get has a weakness, and he could end up getting screwed if they need him and his nose. Luffy only looks for food, but clearly, being a reindeer, he can really track down a lot of stuff if needed. And Luffy, in true idiotic fashion, screams out to the crew and cause the Navy to chase after them. But we get to see Ace in action here. This was very difficult. I could see it was very difficult because you got the smoke, and I thought that was Smoker's attack, but Sunflare actually belongs to Ace. That actually belongs to Ace, and that's Ace standing there shielding it off. It threw me off because if you look at the top panel, the smoke, it's bright white, but Oda tried to separate the flame and the smoke, keeping it different. I think the colors should have been inverted. The smoke should have stayed white, just like at the top part, and the sun flare should have been a little bit more darker to really differentiate the attacks. Because it did actually did throw me off there, and I couldn't tell who, and I gave the wrong voice for sun flare. But either way, he got the flame fruit, which is pretty cool. I really like that attack. The characters, let me tell you something. These all these devil fruits are so freaking inventive. I can't say enough how awesome Oda has been with the devil fruit. They're fun. They make a lot of sense, kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? It's pretty exciting. Yeah, then we get to see a little something out of the Baroque works, which is very interesting. That is that there is no allies. There's no honor among thieves kind of thing here, because the Billions want to make a name for themselves and get a number like Mr. 11, and one of the ways to do it is to kill off one of the numbers. So they apparently killed off number 11, which we'll never get to see ever again, apparently, because that's the way the Billions operate, and the Millions. Very interesting setup for Baroque works. But yeah, everybody gave chase. They made it to the sea, and we get a whole big story. Yeah, we get to see for the first time actually. For the first time, we actually get to see family in action here. Unlike in the live action where we get to see Luffy's grandfather, and I guess Ace's grandfather, since they went that far ahead, clearly. We never saw any member of Luffy's family. We just only saw Shanks and his crew, who were best friends. So we actually get to see what Luffy's family relationship looks like right here. And it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Ace is not a bad guy. He thanks them, he thanks the crew for looking out, and they both got the same goal, and that is to look for the One Piece. They're after Gold D. Rogers' One Piece. And, yeah, they basically see themselves as rivals. Of course, he offered, Luffy and his crew to join Whitebeard, given their reputation. But it turns out that Ace has a big issue himself, and that is that one of his crew that was under his command went rogue and killed the crewmate. So he's got to get him out of there. So basically, it seems like Ace has the same philosophy as Luffy. Luffy said very clearly in the early chapters that if any member of his crew did something like kill an innocent or kill a person, that was not out of like self-defense, like an initiative, or betrays him, he would hunt them down and take them out. They would not be his friend, basically, and he made that clear. And you can see it that it does run through the family, because Ace is doing the same thing. One of his crewmen under his command killed a person for no reason, and he's out to deal with it and himself and get that rectified. So yeah, that's a great character family dynamic, and that's pretty awesome to see, to have read there. You know what I'm saying? He wants to make sure, the D family has a code of honor, basically, and it's a good code of honor. You know what I'm saying? Ace didn't go there to ransack, steal, or anything. But he's just taking responsibility for what happened, much like the way Luffy would take responsibility of any of his crewmates, like Chopper or Usopp or even Zolo, crosses the line. And he thought Zolo, at that point, there was that one point where he thought Zolo killed innocent people, and he went on a full-on assault. He didn't realize that was Zolo killed bad guys, but yeah, it definitely runs in the family, and I like that. Makes one wonder about Goldie Roger then, if he truly is an ancestor of the D family, if that's something, a philosophy they kept at. But yeah, we got a little cool tech here with the speedboat. And we get to see what Ace can truly do, which is freaking epic. I mean, jeez, man, this was just too dang epic. Just look at that. Just blew the whole thing up. My gosh, man. Luffy really takes... the D family really likes epic destruction. They really like that epic destruction going on here. Just destroy everything. They don't play around. The D family just don't play around. I think they're awesome. But yeah, we go to our last chapter, 160 here for the night, where we finally get to see Baroque Works gathering together. Karo gets got a little mission. He's sent off to deliver a message, but Phoebe and the crew are heading off to Yuba to get to the rebels and convince them to join them in the big fight against Baroque Works. But in the meantime, we get to meet some very interesting designed characters like Miss Merry Christmas and Mr. Four here. These oblong-shaped characters. Pola, we get to meet Pola, who runs the Spiders Cafe. Yeah, the characters are very unique, all of them. Mr. Two, of course, shows up. So hilarious that they would be dancing. Mr. Two and his crew dancing. It's pretty funny. I like that. But yeah, we get to see that Mr. Two, most specifically, Mr. Two truly is a very, very powerful fighter. He's a very, very, very powerful fighter. You would peg him for being like a weak fool and everything, like he would be so weak he could get beaten down. But Mr. One and him are really evenly matched. We get introduced to Mr. One, who's basically one number short of Mr. Zero. But oh man, the two of them with the nice little fight sequence here, as you can see, that was really great, because we were introduced to Mr. Two chapters ago, being this silly, over the top, bodacious type of character, silly, comic relief, but then we get to see how he really fights against Mr. One, who would take down, who showed that he took down two of his Mr. Two's henchmen with relative ease, and they're both pretty much evenly matched. So what a great way to characterize a lot of these characters, a lot of these Baroque work fighters here. It makes them real interesting, and most importantly, Mr. Three hiding. I think it was over here that he was hiding. They showed him hiding somewhere around here. Oh well, he was hiding. Pretty hilarious. He's still got a death mark on his head, but we get to meet Miss Doublefinger, who goes by the name of Pola, and now they're gonna go see for the first time Mr. One, because not even they could see him, and that's pretty interesting. That none of them have seen him, according to Miss Doublefinger, unless that's bad exposition, bad writing, but. It looks like the next chapter we're gonna get to see all of them gathered together with Mr. Zero, and see what the big plans are, probably soon enough. But overall, great set of chapters. It was really fun. Nice world build. Nice little cultural building for Alabaster. We get to meet Baroque Works, the whole crew. Everybody's got their plans laid out on how to deal with the situation. Smoker is out there, so now we got Smoker with the Navy, Baroque Works, and Luffy and the crew, along with the rebels that we're gonna meet in Yuba. So that's 4 factions. 2 of them looking to merge together. That's Luffy and the rebels. This is gonna be an epic arc. I'm very excited about it. And I can't wait to see how this is all gonna turn out, because this is basically it. You know what I'm saying? All of Baroque Works is together. The whole armada, the whole entire army. So, man, this is gonna be an all-out war. I wonder how many chapters this goes for. Oh man, well, we better be ready for the whole thing here. This probably could end at 200 at the rate this is going. There's no way this is a 20 chapter arc with this scale here. I wouldn't be surprised if this goes 40 and ends at 200. I would be shocked if it ends in within 10. I'll be shocked if it ends within 10. This is too grand scale, and I am excited. I'm excited for it. So, comment, like, subscribe, follow. You know you want to. And head on over to Amazon.com and grab yourself a copy of The Impossible Man, a strange fantasy novel written by me. You'll find links to the book down in the description below, along with links to other merch such as pins, stickers, t-shirts, music. Enjoy the products. Thank you for your patronage. And if you're interested, you can join me in my live multi-stream on Kick and Twitch every Monday through Thursday, 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I look forward to hanging out with you then. So, until the next set of chapters, I thank you all for joining me, and I wish you all a good night. Hey, buenas noches, and oisumi nasai.